Hey y'all, K-Dog here again. It is an afternoon in February in Missouri. It is 60 degrees outside, and I've got to run a couple errands. So what I wanted to do was take you along with me. I did a video about a week ago talking about my transition from a Harley Tri-Glide to a 2020 Spyder RT Limited. And the video actually was fairly successful. A lot of views, a lot of comments on it. So I thought I'd follow that up and show you what it's actually like to ride the Spyder RT Limited. I'm going to show you what it's like to actually ride the Spyder. It'll be hopefully helpful for those of you who have not ridden a motorcycle before at all, so you can kind of see what it's like to ride a Spyder. But I'll also talk about it from the perspective of someone who's ridden motorcycles and three-wheelers for over 40 years. What's different about it? What are the habits I actually honestly had to break from riding motorcycles and riding three-wheelers, and what do I like and not like? Actually show you what it's like, how you start it, how you back it up, how you shift, what you're doing in traffic, what's different and what you're kind of looking out for. By no means is it a safe motorcycle or safe three-wheeler riding video at all. I'm not saying that, but I'll just kind of tell you what I'm thinking and where I'm looking as I'm going. So let's get on and let's have some fun. Okay, here we are, sitting on the Spyder. The first thing you'll notice, if you're someone who's ridden motorcycles in the past, is there is no clutch lever and there is no brake lever. What you'll also notice, if you look down here, there is no shifting levers at all. That's because the Spyder RT uses a paddle shifter. See right here, see the plus sign? And then on the back side, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a minus sign as well. You paddle shift when you are riding the Spyder. So I'll show you that. First things first, let's actually start it. Turn the key, press the mode button, put your foot on the brake, and start it. When you start it, it's in neutral automatically. And also, as you can see on the dash, the parking brake is on. The Spyder has an electronic parking brake. It's right here. Versus, like on my Harley Tri-Glide, I had a parking brake lever down there by my left foot. So, easy to start. The other nice thing I like about the Spyder, other than the Harley Tri-Glide I had, was on the Harley Tri-Glide, it did have reverse, but the reverse was really just the starter. You would go into reverse and the starter would engage on the flywheel and it would actually use the starter to back you up. And as I mentioned on the other video I did, a lot of times when I backed out of this garage, I felt like the starter would start to lose its oomph, and it just, it always felt like it was an add-on kind of thing. With the Spyder, it actually has a reverse gear, so we'll shift into reverse and then it's a gear like anything else is. So let's do it. I'm going to take off the parking brake. To go into reverse, you hold down the reverse button and you also push on the minus paddle shift, which is behind my hand there. And hopefully you can see on the dash there it says R for reverse now. But I'm just going to take my foot off the brake pedal and I'm going to reverse. Let me shut the garage real quick here. All right, I'm going to reverse. Now when you're shifting, you just use the paddle shifter. So I'm going to hit the plus on the paddle shifter, and it just put me in first gear. Now what I want you to notice when I start going up the hill is that the other thing about the Spyder is On a motorcycle, if you're used to riding a motorcycle, you'll go until your RPMs are where you want to shift, and then you'll kind of drop back on the throttle, use your clutch lever, and you'll put the bike in the next gear. On the Spyder, number one, you're only ever shifting right here with your fingers with the paddle shifter, so there's nothing going on with your left foot down there. But also, on the Spyder, you don't have to let up on the throttle, shift, and then get on it again. You basically just keep the throttle where it is. So I'm in first gear. I'm going to start going up the hill. And you'll just notice, I just do it by what it sounds like. When I get to a good speed, I'm just going to hit the plus on the paddle shifter. And I didn't move my right hand at all. I'll shift again. All right, here's the next thing about the Spyder. I'm going to slow down right here. The Spyder automatically downshifts. So it just downshifted for me into second gear. So again, on the Spyder, whenever I want to shift up, like from first to second, I just hit the button and I just shifted into the next gear. Now I'm in third. I can actually hit the button and I can shift into, fourth, etc. The Spyder will automatically downshift for me when I slow down. So I'm in fourth gear right now. I'm just gonna step on the brake pedal. I'm slowing down and it's shifting automatically. Now it's down into second. So I'll start going again. Now I can downshift manually anytime I want to using the paddle shifter. And there are times when I want to do that. And I guess that's one thing I want to call out that's different between, sorry, I had to turn off my heated seats and my heated grips. That's one thing that's different about the Spyder is on a motorcycle and on my three-wheeler, there would be a lot of times when I would actually, shift down into a lower gear on purpose because I was using my transmission to slow down instead of using my brake. You can do that on the Spyder. I mean, I can downshift right now, but it's so automatic about all of it that it really doesn't make a difference. So on the Spyder, I don't really, use my transmission to slow down like I did on the trike or on a motorcycle. All right, we're gonna just pull in up here and I'm gonna get some gas. I'll show you how to put gas in a Spyder as well. This intersection up here, I've had cars pull out in front of me twice. When we get up here, there's a price chopper on the left. Where I'm gonna turn right, if you look left, cars will come out of the parking lot and they have a lot of things to look at. They're looking at what's coming at them. They're looking at me coming up the street. They're looking at going across, and they don't always pay very good attention. And so you got to be very careful anytime someone's pulling out in front of you. Act like you're invisible is what like the Motorcycle Safety Foundation says. Act like you're invisible. Pretend that they can't see you at all. You've got to do everything you can to actually get their attention. All right, let's get some gas. I'm in first. I'm gonna hit my back pedal on my pedal shifter and I'm going to go into neutral. I'm going to hit my parking brake and I'm going to turn it off, and you can see it said I was low on gas, so I thought I would just take this opportunity to do it. On the RT, the gas is underneath the seat, which is also nice because it means your gas is locked. You can't get to it without using the key. So I'm gonna unlock my gas here, pop the seat up, and then here's where you put gas in. I won't bore you with actually putting it in. I'll cut the video here and I'll come back as soon as it's full, but that's where it is. And it's kind of nice that it's underneath there. All right, done putting gas in it. Close that up, get back on. And let's get out on the road a little bit. Key, mode, brake, start. Easy as that. Take off the parking brake, put it in first, Let's go. Now the other thing about the Spyder that is nice compared to motorcycles and three-wheelers is when I come up here on the slight uphill incline like this, when I come up here, I don't have to use my clutch at all. I don't have to use my clutch, and I don't have to give it gas and kind of stay where I am. The Spyder basically is never going to die on you. I'm in first gear right now, but I don't have anything going on. I just have my foot on the brake. So it's real easy to drive from that perspective as well. Make sure I got my blinker on there, which is really nice when you're on a hill. All you have to do is use your brake pedal. Now again, if you've been riding motorcycles and three-wheelers for as long as I have, all that's kind of second nature to you. But if you're first starting out, it's a whole lot easier. So I got the light, I'm still looking. Anytime I'm crossing traffic, I'm looking. I just shifted into second, shifted into third, shifted into fourth. Let me put my visor down here. And right here, I'm just going. There's not a lot going on at all. I don't have my feet on anything. I'm just giving it gas. I'm just paying attention to what's going on around me. It's it's a very smooth ride. 1330 Rotax engine. There's a Harley. I miss the rumble of the V-twin. I really did like my Harley Tri-Glide. I mean, it allowed me to start riding again. I've had a lot of back problems, and if you want that story, you can watch the other video I did where I talk about the back problems I had. I'll put the link to that video in the description. But anyway, so it's a little windy outside. Now here's the other thing I really like about the Spyder, at least the RT, is on my Tri-Glide I had a couple of different windshields of different heights, kind of depending on what I was doing. I wouldn't change that all the time. But if I was going on a trip, or something, I would put on the taller one. So on this RT, the windshield is electronic. So right down here, I could just electronically raise the windshield, or I can lower it. And I didn't look at it. It might be, 5 inches of play. But boy, it's so nice, depending on the situation and the wind, and if you're in town or touring, just use the electronic control to actually change it. It's just really, really nice. So now I'm kind of just paying attention to what's in front of me. Anytime I've got a vehicle in front of me that I can't see past, I'm always trying to be a little extra careful and leave a little more space. Since I can't see around him or over him up ahead of me, I can't really see what's in the road, so I don't have as much time to react if there were something that he just ran over, instead of, moving in such a way that he gave me the idea that there's something in the road. There's another bike. Nice day today. The things about the Spyder that I like from a comfort perspective are really, that's really why I made the move from a Tri-Glide to a Spyder. I loved my Harley. I loved the Tri-Glide itself. I did some things to it to, make it more comfortable. But the Spyder, it kind of comes out of the box a whole lot more comfortable. All right, I'm sitting here waiting to turn left. I'm going to sit here instead of pulling out there, because there's also traffic over here. This is a lot of traffic that comes this way this time of the day. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wait for my green arrow just to be safer. But anyway, the seat on the Spyder is super comfy. I've got a backrest on it that's super comfy. The ride is super comfy. Because I'm doing less with my hands and with my left foot, it's comfortable because I'm not, my hands don't get as tired. Again, if you're used to riding, it's not a big deal, but when you're on longer trips like I like to do, the less I'm doing, the less tired I am. Shoot, even on being on a ride when you're just having to deal with the wind, even the wind noise, if you're wearing like a half helmet or three-quarter helmet, you've got a lot of wind noise, it could just like suck the life out of you. It could just make you tired. So here's some small curves up here. Again, this is not a lesson in bike safety at all. This is just my thoughts. I always plan my curves so that I'm not braking going into the curve. I'm accelerating, if anything, going into the curves. And I'm also trying to get out on the edge of the curve so I'm at the apex and I can see as far around the curve as possible. So up here, it's a left curve. So I'll come over here, avoid the bad roads. I'll come over here a little bit just to give me a little bit more visibility to what's around the curve. And then when I'm in the curve, I'm not looking right in front of me. I'm looking around the curve. I'm looking where I'm going, not where I am. Big mistake on folks when they first start riding, I think, is they look right in front of their tire. They don't look at where they're going, they look at where they are, which can cause big problems. I can see up ahead of me a truck just turned left out of this neighborhood on the left into the highway. Again, it doesn't matter, but that's how far ahead I'm looking. I'm looking at what the cars are doing, I'm looking at what's in the road. This time of year especially, I'm looking at potholes. There's some bad spots. I have to say, overall, the Spyder is a wonderful experience for me. I'm not a bar hopper. I'm not a short trip kind of person. You know, my idea of fun is to be gone for hours or days even on a trip of some kind, seeing the scenery, you know, having the wind in your face, meeting people. And you know, also, I find myself a lot after riding motorcycles for 40 years. I still sometimes find myself reaching for the clutch lever here, or I used to use my front brake as much or more as my back brake, so I still kind of put my fingers up sometimes, reaching for the brake lever, even though it's not there anymore. On the RT, you probably can't see it on the dash, but it actually gives you an up arrow. I think maybe when you're just in eco mode, it gives you an arrow that kind of tells you when it's time to shift, which, you know, it's helpful if you're just starting out. And then, yeah, I just mentioned eco mode. There is a mode on the RT Limited called eco mode where basically it's supposed to get you some better gas mileage. This thing gets probably mid-30s gas mileage, which is great. All eco mode does is it changes your throttle a little bit, I think, so that you move the throttle farther. You know, you do more of a rotation of the throttle for the speed that you're increasing. So I think the thought is if I have to move it more, that I'm not being so jerky in changing my speed, which I guess can waste gas. Now here, I'm not going to do anything but just put my foot on the brake. It's automatically downshifting. Again, I get it. If you're a motorcycle rider, it's doing a lot of the work for you. But hey, at the same time, it's nice to not think about as many things, to be honest. It's nice to just ride and pay attention more to what's going on around you. And again, it's perfect for me at this point in my life. Just take my foot off the brake and give it some gas. Shift into second. Shift into third. Alright, I got a green light, not a green arrow. Anytime I'm crossing traffic or it's crossing me, I'm just being really careful. Looks like a perfectly good time to go. When I'm on an on-ramp, I like to speed up to the speed of the traffic when I'm getting on, you know, the highway. These people that that take the on-ramp really slow and they want to kind of ease onto the highway, I just don't think that makes any sense. I mean, I want to make the merging as straightforward as possible. And if I'm going 40 when everyone else is going 65, then that's just going to cause problems. That's my opinion. I'm trying to look at all kinds of things. It can make you mentally tired. It really can. My wife didn't really understand it until she started riding with me more. Now she's like, I get it now. The cruise control. It's not a great place to do it, but I'll pop it in real quick. Just get to the speed I want, push down on it, and it shows you on the dash. We're now in cruise control. And this is another lifesaver. Again, you can get this on all kinds of bikes. There's electric cruises, there's throttle locks, there's all kinds of ways to do it. But it sure is nice to have this when you're on trips and kind of give your hand a chance to rest. And then of course I can disengage the cruise anytime I want by just pushing on the brake pedal or by turning off the cruise. Alright, we're going to turn left up here. They just, in the last year or two, they added a left turn lane here. It was even harder to do this before. Now it's pretty straightforward, but you just gotta watch people. Anytime you're crossing lanes, there's a car on the right that's probably waiting to cross the street. I'm going to slow down, make sure he can see me because the van was in the way. And I'm going to turn. So, oh, some more comfort features and performance that I like on the Spyder. In coming here, starting to get into these curves up here, made me think about it. The Tri-Glide did not have any kind of power steering. So what a lot of people said, and I found out was true as well, is that you really end up kind of pushing and manhandling the front tire through turns. And you know, I didn't really believe it when people were telling me, but it definitely is true. You've got to put some effort into making it want to go around those curves. Now there's things you can do. You can, you know, different handlebars can make a difference, and there's a number of things to do. But the Spyder has power steering. So, matter of fact, one of the things you have to get used to on the Spyder is it's very reactive. Any minute move I make, or if I hold the handlebars too tightly, then when I'm hitting bumps, the Spyder can actually jump around on the road a little bit. So, but I like the power steering because, again, I don't have to work as hard when I'm on fun roads, which is great. I had some pretty good comments going in the other video I did about switching from my Harley trike to the Spyder. A lot of good questions and good, you know, information and stories, you know, people are sharing. I would love it if you do the same here. You know, what are your questions you have if you're thinking about getting a Spyder? What are your questions if you're thinking about going to a three-wheeler? Tell me why you think I'm crazy that I switched from a Tri-Glide to a Spyder. I'd love to hear it. Love to hear it. I'm just looking, you know, I'm going 59. I've got a car fairly close behind me. Just had cars turn left in front of me up over the hill. So again, you know, I'm always looking forward and I'm always checking my rear. And about this time of the day, a little later, but about this time of the day is when you have to start being more cautious about wildlife crossing the road, you know, deer, etc. Luckily, knock on wood, I have not had an encounter with a deer while being on any of my motorcycles. The only time I've ever had to put a motorcycle down was because an older lady who I'm sure just didn't even see me until it was too late, she turned left right in front of me. And luckily I had enough time that I was able to put the bike down in front of her. I didn't get hurt at all. But it's funny because she didn't see me until I put the bike down. She was already in her turn, and she saw me, and she looked right at me, but she just kept right on going. I don't know what she thought had happened, but I just thought that was funny. This July, some friends of mine and I, we're planning it right now. We are going to the Black Hills. We're going to spend a week seeing everything from Devil's Tower east. Custer's Last Stand, Black Hills, Crazy Horse, Mount Rushmore. There's some awesome canyons right there in the Black Hills area. So we're going to try to shoot up there in a day. Spend 2 or 3 days there, seeing all the sights, getting some good miles in, and then coming home. This little downtown area, Pleasant Hill. We'll go through here, just so you can see some nice small town scenery. And then I will finish up this video. This stuff always makes me just a little nervous. You know, a lot of these cars can't see anything until they're backed out most of the way, so I never go too fast, and I always got my foot really close to the brakes. Train station. Out here a little bit where I can see what these guys are waiting for. All right, looks good. All right, I think that about covers it. I tried to cover starting, stopping, shifting, what I kind of look for, how to put gas in the Spyder, what I like and don't like between the Spyder and the Harley trike I used to have. Hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully it gives you more of an idea what it's like to ride a Spyder. Man, I sure enjoy it. It's just a perfect fit for me now, even though I miss that V-twin sound for sure. So if you liked the video, found it helpful, I would love a like or a subscribe or both. That kind of stuff really helps YouTube send additional people to this content so they can get something out of it as well, hopefully. I appreciate all of you. I'm trying to put out videos that are interesting as well as fun. I can't wait for some of the trips I'm doing this year. I'm going to hopefully get some good video on those trips. And that's it. Again, I appreciate you. Ride safe.